already pressed it.
Okay.
And I'm just going to let it play.
That's good.
Even if you're not ready.
No, I love that.
Yay! Read it one more time. Okay. I'm ready now. Let's do it! Hey y'all! It's me, Taylor Waits. DJ, vlogger. What else do I do? Writing. I'm getting my doctorate. To be honest, I'm spiraling right now. But at the end of it, I'm a bad bitch. And here I am, the host of SipNSpill, the podcast that's about me, a black woman, a queer black woman, my experiences and the people that I love. And today I have an amazing person that I love. Yes! Alexis. I'm going to give a little insight into how I know you.
Okay.
And then I'll let you introduce yourself.
Sounds good.
So here's a little insight into how I know you. So I met Alexis in our program when we were in college. Oh my God, like the time just feels so far.
Feels like it was like 10 years ago.
I literally feel like such a different person.
It was literally like what? Not even 4.
Literally, I feel like I looked like a different person. I acted and just talked and was a different person, but I always knew you were cool people. I was like, that's my nigga. Period.
Period.
Whenever we were in the program, I feel like there's some weird people in there, and also like just the continuing like you have to do something in life, you gotta go somewhere, y'all have to do X, Y, and Z. And I feel like we were always the sort of people who's like, I'm just gonna take this money and figure out what I'm gonna do.
Literally,
it's not that serious.
I took that money and went to Greece.
Period. Y'all heard it here. Scam whites and live your best life. I've grown to know you as a writer, as well as a director, a script writer. An embroiderist, an amazing embroiderist, and just a great person to talk to. And you also host your own podcast, your own show, and you have your own content. So if you'd like to tell the people about that. But y'all, that's Alexis. If you want to give any extra insight into who you are, what you're excited to do today, all that other sorts of shit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can talk a little bit. Do you want to double?
We're talking about who's gonna hold the mic. It's very like phallic. Do you want to hold my mic?
No, I don't. No, but yeah, I'm Alexis. You can call me AJ. Like Taylor said, I'm a writer. Currently, just a slave to capitalism at the moment. Mm-hmm. But hopefully not forever. I am gender fluid, so any pronoun she, he, and they are cool. Whatever. Yeah. That's me.
Yeah. So today we're talking about films and escapism. I already said you're a director and that you write scripts, so that's obviously something that we talked about a lot, and something y'all can't follow us on Twitter, but that's exactly what we talk about. Y'all are gonna know what our Twitters look like, but that is a lot also of what we talk about on Twitter and what we're reposting and retweeting, which is like the main way that I get to know about your life. I'm like, what are they fucking doing?
Dude, all I do is talk about movies and shows that I'm watching. Like that's literally my life. That's where I got my personality from. Movies.
No, dead ass. I was about to say my parents were both cinephiles, and they were the ones with that big ass like Chester drawer of just VHS and DVDs, and every time people will walk in, the first thing they say is, damn, y'all have a lot of DVDs. And I'm like, no, and these niggas have watched it 2 to 3 times. And then literally when they have kids, they force them to watch them. I like you said, my personality, a part of it is Star Wars, and if you meet my parents, you'll see. It's their personality too. It's fucking disgusting. Yeah. How have movies showed up in your life to like really draw you to them? Movies obviously are fucking awesome, but what do you find most awesome about them?
I think in movies, like my focus is usually in fantasy. I've been moving towards like horror and suspense related, but you know, anything that's speculative kind of in the fiction. And that's always been me because I'm very much like, you know, I'm a homebody. I stay home. I'm very into myself. And I guess movies are a way to see the world outside without having to, like, go outside.
Yeah.
And, like, you can experience so many different things. And I think growing up as kind of, not necessarily poor, but almost there, like, there's not really that many experiences you can just have. Like, you can't just, like, go somewhere different or, like, learn something new, like, all the time because everybody's working, you know.
Yeah.
you have to go to school and all that
Period.
stuff. So with a movie, you can sit down and for like 2.5 hours, you're outside of yourself.
Mm-hmm. You're somewhere else.
You can be a different person. You can do different things. And I think that's also what led me towards writing.
Yeah.
Is you can be anything.
No, literally. That's what I love about writing. That's what I always tell my students is like, don't y'all love a fantasy? Like, I'm also gay. So it's just like the fantasy of it all, truly. And as you were speaking, I was thinking of a bunch of agoraphobic movies, or of like people, or of movies that are done really well where it's just like in the house. And most recently, I don't know if you've seen this movie. It came out in 2020. I forget what it's called, Zoom or something like that. And it's a horror film done all on Zoom. Yes, and I watched the background on that movie and how they did it, and it was literally all done on Zoom. Like, they didn't meet up with one another. They just sent shit to each other's house. And I think that's what being alone, and also because a lot of people were alone for the quarantine, including myself. I was with my roommate, but we're both very in our room people. Right. You know, you're not with your family per se.
Yeah.
And literally, or growing up, as a lot of my friends are, regardless of how many siblings you have or whatever, everyone can relate to the feeling of being alone or feeling alone, regardless of how many people are in your family. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's the different things that we pull to in terms of escapism. And I feel like a lot of my friends were always just pulling to shows. We're always talking about what we're watching too. Like, what are you watching? And do you like that? And when? And so when I saw your podcast, I was like, yes! Like, I've been trying to find more podcasts of just, like you did, speculative people, but from different perspectives, because like we also were talking in the car about all the white dudes on YouTube that do all the film reviews.
Yes, all the film reviews.
And it's not like some of them aren't good or whatever, but
right.
I'm so over that. Yeah. I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
It's such a one-sided conversation half the time, because like it's like they can't even see the other side of the world, like, from where their own like worldview. And I feel like as us being black, in different situations, clearly we grew up differently. We grew up in totally different places, but I feel like there's still a connection there of just how we see the world, as opposed to white people that are like literally so one-sided when they talk about a lot of things, especially movies. Yeah,
it just seems so like this is the way it's supposed to be interpreted, sort of way. And as a writer, as an artist, I'm like, I don't really give a fuck how you interpret it. Like, yeah, I think some things are intentional, like in movies, like it adds to the story, and I want you to take them that way. But in all honesty, if you just take my work and you just transform it into something else, the job is done. Like, it's not necessarily needing to be this one eye-opening, like you said, sort of, this is what happened in the movie, and these are the things that are happening.
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't know if that's true.
It doesn't need to be concrete. And, you know, me, I've been literally on Fanfiction websites since I was, like, 13. So, like, it's all about, like, you take part of the canon of what the artist gives you, and you turn it into your own thing. Like, whether it be, like, you making a character go through something completely different than what they did in the original, or, you know, things like that. Like, you twist it and make it your own, and you do that every time you watch movies. Like, nobody ever sees the movie exactly how the director wants it. Like, you can't, because the way I see it in my brain is totally different than the way that I write it out, or the way that I film it. Like, it changes so much. Like, it morphs into something completely new by the time that you see it.
Yeah, and I remember, my friend is a director as well, and I remember before I switched into, like, the directing stage of who I am now, it was a lot of, like, but the book is not like the movie. The movie's not like the book. Especially, I still feel the way I do about Ready Player One. I still feel the way I do about Ready Player One, because I think as a writer, the story was better told with some of the portions that they intentionally left out due to the corporation that is paying for that movie, which I think at the time was, like, Pepsi or Disney.
Yeah.
And the messages that they didn't want to send, which is, to me, hurtful, because I'm like, well, we're missing a part of, like, a core integral of the story. But in terms of the rest of the movie, the visuals, you know, the overall overarching what it's supposed to be teaching, which is also, the book is meant for preteens and adults, and the movie was marketed towards PG-13, so like a smaller age of people. Small people.
Small people.
Small people. Children, as I like to call them. But I tell my students, you're just small people. You're gonna be tall people. Taller people. but you're small people. And, you know, the difference in, like, money in making movies for children and the difference in money in making movies for, like, adults. Like, you talk about horror film. I feel like horror has been a genre specifically that hasn't had, like, a lot of moving and shaking, specifically on the large screen, in a long time because of the formulas and all of the sort of, what is it that the white dudes talk about? I saw him today. Somebody else said Romero. There he is. Dawn of the Dead. Mm-hmm. And sort of these canonical things. What are some canonical things in horror? The one white bitch who needs, you know, who's looking for safety.
The Virgin.
Yeah, the Virgin. Yeah. There's a movie I think that has each one of them. Yes, and it has each one of them.
It has each like trope in there, and I think that's a big part of
movies, and I love that movie.
Yeah, I love that movie, and I love horror movies. I love the old ones especially.
Yeah,
like, Scream is like my favorite slasher movie series, right? So it's not like you're wanting to do away with movies like that. But they have to change.
Yeah.
Like, especially now. And I think that's for all movies, like, across the board. Mm-hmm. Like, they just, like, they're so stagnant sometimes, especially the ones that come from these bigger corporations. Like, it's just like, okay, this story's been told 100 times already, and, like, the faces aren't even different.
No! It's so ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, characters are the same, the faces are the same, the storylines, the messages, and
the writers are the same.
Oh, God.
It's all the same. And so... yeah, like, I feel like that's one thing, like, me being so into movies from, like, a young age. Like, you can see the patterns, and you can see, like, where it's going. Like, even when you sit down and watch, like, a Netflix original, like, the things I love to do, like, it's kind of what I love to do in a movie, is just go, like, beat by beat by beat, and be like, this is what's going to happen. Yeah. This is what's going to happen.
Literally.
Because it's literally drawn out, because if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No.
But... that's kind of like how you can tell if something's done creatively or if it's done like, well, we just got to get this out.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like most Netflix originals are that way, especially the newer ones where I'm like, in the beginning when they were really competing with these bitches, you know, they had not Peaky Blinders. Yeah, they did have Peaky Blinders. They had a whole bunch of really good original content on Netflix. And as it's gone on, sometimes I watch some of these shows and I'm like, The Tall Girl? Oh, no. Not The Tall Girl.
I never watched that, but I watched a video on that. And I'm like, she's not even that tall.
She's not even that tall! I think there was, like, whole boys taller than her and girls that were, like, right to her neck.
Like, literally.
She wasn't even that tall. She wasn't even that tall.
She's like, I wear size 13 in men's. Like, okay.
It was so weird.
So you're, like, a... basic volleyball player.
That and the Tyler Perry formula are the two most violent formulas. Y'all, number one, I watched A Fall from Grace. Oh my God. Those are the movies that I like to sit and just, I know what's gonna happen. But when I tell you, I didn't know it was gonna happen in A Fall from Grace. I
don't want to know what's gonna happen. Bitch, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, get drunk, hate yourself, and watch a Tyler Perry movie, and you'll live. But we've talked. Now it's time to play games.
Okay.
Okay, so AJ definitely found a random word generator, and I didn't know generators existed on the internet. I've never done that.
Dude, if you're a writer, you need a word generator.
No, literally, my friends are always like, why are you doing so much work in your brain? Like, Google exists. And I'm like,
no, literally find a word generator for, like, anything that you need. Like, literally, fantasy word generator. Cowboy generator.
I'm screaming.
Anything.
I can't stand it.
That's what
fantasy
I want.
And cowboy.
That's what I want. I would do a western horror.
No, you gotta write it, not me.
Dude.
You gotta write it.
I'm gonna write it.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna say
Don't take my idea.
I thought you were telling me. I'm like, no, you do it.
Be like, no, this is not for you.
You do it. I'll come and see it. All the best. But we're gonna do the random word generator, and we're just gonna say the first movie that pops in our head.
Yeah, just a little word association.
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
Yes. Who's going first? Wait.
We'll both pick a movie.
Oh, we'll go. Okay.
Okay. So first word is Abby.
Oh my God.
Literally, first thing that comes to mind is Downton Abbey, but I don't think that's a movie. I think that's a show.
It's a show, but Shows are mini movies.
Shows are mini movies. This is correct.
Each one is like an hour.
Like all together, they're really long movies.
Long movies, yeah. So most definitely, it counts. I would say Sherlock Holmes, even though I didn't want to say it, but then I said it. I was like, I don't want to say it.
The ones with RDJ are good.
Yeah, I have such a torn relationship to that character, and just the way that people have done with Sherlock and whatever.
They've done a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Implication.
Implication. What does that word mean? Implication. I'm like, damn. I'm getting a doctorate in English, everybody. And my dissertation is just one sentence. It's English is stupid. I turn it in.
I hate words.
I hate words. English words specifically. Implication. That kind of means like, it's
like something that's implied.
Yeah, something that's implied, but you also like act it on that person. Like you make an implication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like a crime.
I was about to say,
crime movie.
Implication, I think, similarly of detective, judge. I think of a movie that I actually
I'm
enjoy
thinking of, oh my god, it's with Keanu Reeves. He's a lawyer. But there's actually two with him as a lawyer.
Wow. When?
I can't remember. They're like early 2000s, I think.
If you say Keanu Reeves in Implication, it makes me think of John Wick. 1, 2, and 3.
You know what? Movies. I've never seen those movies. Never.
Oh my god.
And I love action movies.
When I tell you, you will stand John Wick. Oh my god.
I need to watch them.
No, you definitely need to watch them, and I have them. I need to give you my account so that you can just watch them, please.
Do that. Okay. Fence. Sandlot comes to mind first.
Oh, I love Sandlot.
I love that movie.
No, literally that movie is
The first one is iconic.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other ones.
Yeah, no. Just literally I was going to say I've only seen the first one. I've only seen the Sandlot one. And Fences, but Denzel made me hate him in that movie.
Oh, that's that movie with, oh no.
And it's actually written by a Pittsburgh playwright.
Really?
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff. He has August Wilson. He has an entire center named after him.
Dang.
All my kids know who August Wilson is. He's great. And it just makes me feel like, ew, I'm like back in Pittsburgh and ew, y'all, Fences. Do not watch it if you don't want to be mad at Denzel Washington for the rest of your life.
Bro, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I love him.
No, I hated him in the movie.
Okay. Ally.
Oh no!
Ally. Oh my god. You know what comes to mind? That movie, Alex Strangelove on Netflix.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen that.
Oh my gosh.
I refused to watch it. Because I was like, wait, where's that comma at?
No, because I get it. Because it's kind of like, I mean, you know, I like kind of coming of age movies, like, but it's so like white, you know?
Yeah,
it's very white. And like Alex is basically like, am I gay? But I have a girlfriend. But maybe I'm bisexual. But not actually I'm gay.
I'm like screaming me.
Okay.
I live. Ally. Yeah, I want to think of another movie with like a white where they think they're doing something. The Blind Side. I feel like a lot of allies love that movie.
Dude,
that's such an ally movie, you know.
That is. Ew. And like, didn't they kind of messed up his story like a lot?
No, literally, that man. We need to figure out what's going on with him. Well, we don't. He's a man, but you know what I mean. I do want to follow up to figure out like, did those white people do like what happened?
Yeah. No, I think he wrote a book or something.
Oh, we should read that book.
Oh my god.
What's his name, y'all? Who's the big man from The Blind Side?
Not the actor, the actual guy.
No, the actual guy. I just want to know how he's doing.
Okay. Edge.
Oh.
Edge.
Don't make me think of a porn film. I love that one. Edge. I'm on the edge.
I'm thinking of something like on a... Oh, I'm thinking of The Descent.
Ooh.
That movie's crazy.
No, that movie's fucking wild. We watched it for...
I would never go like climbing or anything like that.
But they explained what was going on the whole time. And then, well, let's go deeper. I'm like, no. Bitch. That reminds me of, did you see the Netflix movie with, there's just a giant hole in the ground? And they have to go, and they're in jail, and they have to go down the, yes.
The platform?
Yes!
Bro, that movie's crazy.
When I tell you, I had to pause that movie a few times to be like, y'all, is everyone good? Because I'm not. Like, what's going on?
I watched that movie in the dark.
You're crazy. Oh, no. I told them specifically, if I'm going to be watching bodies fall to the ground, like, please put the lights on. We definitely have to have those on. That movie's fucking crazy. But that's
insane.
because it's just all edge. Like, you're on the edge. Everyone's literally on the edge. Like, people are... Oh, it's fucking crazy. Watch that movie.
Even, like... I don't know what the fuck that is. Archive.
Ooh. Not The Mummy. Not The Mummy!
Oh my god, The Mummy!
Yeah.
I love that.
If you're a librarian, you should love The Mummy.
Exactly. It's you have to love The Mummy. If you're bisexual, you
love The Mummy!
Mummy.
My dad literally, it's all coming together. Y'all, my dad forced The Mummy down my neck, and I was like, Dad, this is so stupid.
He knew.
And then I was like, wait, like literally I got older and I was like, wait, Dad, let me see that DVD. Wait, let me see that. I gotta take that to the back. Per usual. There was actually a cupcake. Let me make sure this is actually, we have to take a pause because my MacBook is being silly. There it is. It's still going. That's so funny. I'm keeping that in. Keeping all that in. But there's this, y'all go to my Instagram. There is this muffin. There's this muffin with a pussy on it. And just like this, just like The Mummy, I had to take it in the back and go have a conversation. Yeah, me and that muffin needed to have a talk. I needed to see what they was talking about.
Bro, I watch that movie, the first one, once a month. Like,
no, literally. The Mummy is a lifestyle. My dad used to force me to watch it, I think, once a month. Most definitely.
Dude, I love that movie. Yeah. Mine has it all on DVD.
I know. The real DVD.
I can't wait to...
My dad sells all of them.
Oh my god. I can't wait to have my own, like, DVD collection. God. Like, real nice, like a bookshelf, like a library, but just for DVDs.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm in the transitional space, and I'm like, I don't really want to buy a bunch of stuff for this place. I kind of want to wait till
exactly.
So I'm like,
I need my home, like my forever home.
Yeah, so I'm definitely doing like digital things right now. But I definitely, FYI, if you want to buy me one, I love physical DVDs.
I love physical things, like. I'm materialistic as fuck, so I love physical things.
Yes, albums, all that. Like,
okay,
I'm ready.
Next read.
Yes.
Thesis. Ooh, too close to home.
Thesis. There's this SNL skit where there's like a poster and she's like a hot girl and he's like, well, posters, how do I do this? What does thesis mean? And she's like, thesis. This is a burger. And thesis are fries. And I'm like, this stupid bitch. Literally me and my English department. But thesis, let me think about. No, you go first because I'm gonna think of a good graduate school movie because I think I have one. Don't do it. Don't laugh.
I'm trying to think. Thesis.
Or even school. Like, wait, I might have to go ahead and write this grad school movie.
Why? Because the first thing that came to mind is Da Vinci Code.
Oh my god. When I tell you.
I don't even think he's a professor or anything.
When I tell you Tom Hanks in that wig is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, that I turned it off in the first 5 minutes.
Why did they do him like that?
They did, and his widow's peak was so long, y'all. Tom Hanks he was a cave. There's a lot going on in this long coat. I only watched it for the first, I think 15 minutes, and I was like, I'm turning this off.
That movie was wild.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm mad you brought that energy. I have to cool
Is that
it
the
down.
one? I think that's the one where they're like, yeah, Jesus had a wife, and like...
What? Mary?
Yeah, they were like that Jesus' wife was Mary, and that they had a kid before he died, and then that kid... there's like a whole lineage of people that are descended from Jesus.
No, Jesus was definitely a nigga. He out here fucking all types of bitches, doing all this sorts of shit. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I believe that. Yeah, for sure.
Let's do one more.
Okay.
Oh wait, did I say one? No, I didn't. I was gonna say that movie with Robert. He just died. Robert. He died. Well, he didn't just die. He was a genie. Robin Williams. I said Robert.
Bitch.
Stop. You know you knew him. Why I said it? I know you knew it. Robin Williams and not Matt Damon.
He just died. Wasn't it like 10 years ago?
No. When did he die?
I swear to God, he died like 10 years ago.
I hate you. He literally just died yesterday. Like they had a
You're lying.
They had a whole new Aladdin.
Bitch, he died in 2014.
You're lying. No, that was so long ago. I swear he died like yesterday. But that's crazy.
Why would you bring that energy here right
now? You're mad at me. Robin Williams and that other white man. It's not Matt Damon.
Dead Poets Society?
Not that one. the other one he did where it was just him and that one and the kid one-on-one, and it wasn't Matt Damon. It was Matt, the other Matt.
Dude, you don't know these people.
Yeah, I'm screwing.
You're making it up.
Remember when he was a teacher, but he wasn't a teacher for high schoolers. He was a teacher for this. He was a mentor to this dude in Boston.
No.
I have to show you that movie. It's really good.
Let me look it up now.
Oh, yeah,
because now.
Us or not? Yeah, because we're gonna find it. Okay, let's see. It's like in the 80s.
Popeye.
Not Popeye. Not the Poets Society.
Portrait of a White Marriage.
Adventures, the Best of Times. The Adventures, Portrait of a White Marriage. Aladdin is Death for Being Human. Well, damn, it's not him.
With honors. That's not it.
Him? Click it.
Why is it red?
I'm screaming. It doesn't exist. Wow. I'm just making it up. Who's the one with...
This one has Brendan Fraser in it.
The white dude who's not Matt Damon.
Are you sure that's not it?
No, it's not that one. Look at not Joe Pesci. I love Joe Pesci.
Oh my god, isn't he from Home Alone?
Yes, and he's from The Sopranos. Maybe not The Sopranos. He's from Goodfellas.
Jumanji? No.
No, I Can't Stand You.
Oh my god, Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything.
He was not in that movie.
Yes, he was.
He was an uncredited.
He sold her the car, or he got her the car for the tickets so that they could all.
Oh, he did come in. He did come in. They said uncredited.
They bought that from.
Oh yeah, he was like, yeah, girl. Blah, blah. I remember. He was doing too much. Is it Patch Adams? No, that's the Smoochie. Get Bruce. Good Will Hunting! I fucking knew it! God damn it!
You said it was in the 80s. It says 1997.
Good Will fucking Hunting. He was a goddamn professor.
I've never seen that before.
Oh my gosh, let me read it to you.
Ben Affleck?
Yes! And Matt Damon, so it's like such a Boston movie.
Ben Affleck is in like every movie.
He's so annoying.
From the 90s.
And he's not in this movie, he wrote it. He wrote this movie with Matt Damon.
It says starring.
Oh, I thought it wasn't Matt Damon. I thought it wasn't Matt Damon. It is Matt Damon.
It is Matt Damon.
I hate that.
You were like, it's not Matt Damon.
And it's literally Matt Damon is staring at me. Y'all, I hate that. But it's about a 20-year-old South Boston janitor, Will Hunting, an unrecognized genius who is a part of a deferred prosecution agreement after assaulting a police officer. Stop. I'm screaming. Becomes a patient of a therapist and studies advanced mathematics with a renowned professor. It's fucking ridiculous. It's such a Boston movie. Gross over $225 million. It's literally won an Oscar, best supporting actor, best original screenplay.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen it once.
Matt Damon writes movies.
They both did. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, the most Boston people you can think of, were like, "You want to write a movie about Boston?" And then they did, and it was about, of course, some trash dude and a professor, as every Boston person is, which is why I didn't go to school there.
You're either a professor.
Oh, you're trash. Like in Boston, that's it.
Or you're a nurse.
Exactly. Or you're a nurse. Those three things. But yeah, you gotta watch Good Will Hunting. That's what it reminded me of. That was fun.
That was fun.
Oh wait, are we doing one more?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let's do one.
Mixture. To be honest, Mixture brings. What is that movie? It was more of a show. Yeah, it's more of a show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
now we're just playing. Can I guess what movie you're thinking about? I love that game.
I hate you.
I do that all the time with my friends. They're like, "This movie is called," and I'm like, "Oh, it's that one."
Don't, because I'm literally an insane person. I say the wrong thing. Mixture, it's nasty. I'm thinking of a movie specifically when they were like, oh yeah, we put all the sperm together and we mixed it and then we just took one out and we're gonna see who's the kid. And I think it was Glee, and that's how Rachel became to be. I'm pretty sure that was the story. Yeah, she's a black and a white gay dad, and she's like, I just don't know which one's my dad. She's obviously not black. So I was screaming. But that's what she was saying, is like they just mixed it all up and then just picked one and just put the base in. And there's another movie that says that exact thing, and it's a comedy, and I can't remember it.
That is,
I think Amy Poehler's in it.
Disgusting.
Bitch, that's how they do it. They just gang bang into like a cup, and then they're like, bloop, bloop. We'll see who the daddy. We'll see who win. Yeah, it's fucking gross.
Well, what I thought of was this movie called I Did Not Expect This. It's a Chinese movie.
Ooh.
It's about he like owns hotels and stuff, and he goes to them and like tries out their restaurants.
Ooh.
That are in the hotels, and like he basically falls in love with one of the he's super picky, like very particular dude, and so he falls in love with the cooking of one of these chefs, but he doesn't know it's this girl who is like ruining his life.
I stand that.
She like they like hate each other, but they don't know that they're like living through their food kind of thing.
So their food sexually compatible.
Exactly.
I love that.
They do get together in the end, so.
Thank you. I'm gonna watch that movie later. I can't stand it.
I love it. It's good.
Okay.
I love Chinese movies.
No, I was. Let's not get into Chinese movies right now because then we're about to ask this question and then I can get into Chinese movies. Oh my gosh! But now I want to talk about them. Okay, I won't. Thanks, y'all. That was the game. Word association. That went a lot of places.
Yeah.
but we're landed here. We're here now.
And here we are.
Safely in the water. So this whole conversation that we're about to have now is kind of like just picking back on to what we were talking about beforehand. Just talking about films and the way that they help us to fantasize, escape, imagine a future, know that things will be better, try and imagine things that are better. You know, these are all different ways that I personally use movies and creativity, writing, art in general, but specifically with films, like you said, it's more so to put myself somewhere else. So yeah, the first question would be like, I asked this earlier, how has it entered in your life? And you kind of hit on that, but how has film like become an escape? Also as a writer, right? Because I definitely escape into my writing. And like I was telling you, there was another writer that I'm trying to hook them in with, and they were explaining to me how they're caught up in what their character's doing. And they're like, no, I'm having a bad day because my character's making bad decisions. And, you know, it's the escapism of worrying about your character's problems instead of worrying about yours. So, yeah, well, how is it in the many ways that you see film and do film? You escape.
I think, which this kind of came to mind sort of while we were playing the game, but I'm a really big Guillermo Del Toro fan, and his big thing is monsters in his films. Specifically, I'm thinking of The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorites from him. And I think that that's also a way to escape, in that kind of seeing yourself outside of what humanity is, or what it's become, really.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when being stuck in this like Western society where everything is a binary, you know, everything is so like man or woman, black or white, kind of this or that sort of thing, like to go outside of that completely and to be not even just a different person, but you're a totally different thing. And it kind of shows what's inside rather than the outer kind of things, because the main character of The Shape of Water is mute, and so, you know, they only communicate through sign language, which is another thing I think should be more in more films. There should be more disabled characters, like in everything, honestly. And I think that I think there should be more black and queer disabled people specifically, because I feel like that's a whole different genre, which also touches on like who society sees as a human and who they don't,
right?
Because they don't represent them at all. And when they do, you know, how many movies have you seen, especially horror movies, where the main character is deformed in some way or mentally disabled in some way? Like, I think what Guillermo Del Toro does is kind of flip that on his head, and usually the monster character, using air quotes here, is one of the good guys, and one of the human characters is usually the villain, in, you know, the way that they are, and like it's slowly a process of like you seeing the monster as a human and you seeing the human as what they truly are, a monster, in their violence and their anger and their like how they take it out on people and things. So I think that's kind of what I see, and when I think of escaping, I think of completely escaping from just the the bindings that is like society as a whole, because and it's like we have so much more work to do in like society of being even seen as people and like seen past just what we can do for like capitalism and like the society. So that's why, like I said, I love fantasy, because it's a totally different world. You're a totally different creature, and the possibilities are really endless when you really let go of the binary altogether.
Yeah, I remember first showing up to my program and really confiding in the MFA students, because we're all nonfiction. Yeah. Fiction, not nonfiction, I mean, they were all fiction or doing poetry. And so they were, like you said, they're like, bitch, I'm not even on this planet, bitch. I'm not even in this dimension. Like, you're trying to make real life people do X, Y, and Z, which is what I want to do, because I shout out to fantasy writers. I want to get into more creative writing, which is what my friends have told me, is like, just try and write a story as if X, Y, and Z. And I go on those pages and see all the, what are those called, prompts and all those other sorts of stuff. But I feel like as a director as well as a writer, my form of escapism is like real life. That's different for me. Hence why I really like movies. I do love science fiction and fantasy, because who doesn't? And it just has such a huge part of my life because of my dad and my mom being weebs and forcing me to watch all that shit. But I think the things that I like really drew myself to, one of the movies that I feel like has moved me, even though it's about masculinity and maleness, even though I really like it, is Moonlight. I feel like authentic stories, I don't know, it just gets me every time. And like you said, authentic stories, I feel like a good sort of like fantasy authentic story, because you know how fantasy isn't authentic because it's made up, but the messages and the people within it are the things that sell me on the entire thing. And I think one of the series that was like that for me was Teen Titans, and it was not a movie. It's being turned into a movie, which I'm so scared about. But we've all seen.
We'll see.
Raven is not black, and Starfire is. I'm just hoping Starfire is stupid, but I feel like she's not going to be stupid. I feel like she's going to be very intelligent and just like, they're just not going to be the same. But, you know, that means something to me, like, that someone's making a movie about that. Like, that was my form of escape as a fucking kid. Like, I wanted to be that. Same with basically all of the Cartoon Network Adult Swim shows and anything on Crunchyroll. And so when people make movies out of them, I feel like I'm the person that's stuck in reality, because I'm like, bitch, I can't imagine this any other way other than how you put it the first time. And as a writer, that's now has to be my form of escape, is seeing my writing as well as like other people's work, as we just said in the beginning, as just something to jump off with, just something to be inspired by, something to ingest and be like, that was good, or maybe I didn't like that, or I like that part. And now I've gotten into like dissecting movies, or into really looking at the portions of them that I like. And like I said, I'm stuck in reality, so I'm more so like, how do they make these fake things look real? So now I'm getting really sucked into like animators, directors, studio
special
houses.
Effects.
Oh my god. Like you said, Guillermo Del Toro has been doing this for forever, and his monsters are, like you said, otherworldly. People could never,
they're gorgeous,
imagine them, hence why they're so scary, because they're like, oh bitch,
and they feel realer because it's not CGI. Like it's all I'm trying to think of the word, and of course it's like escaping me, but it's physical. Like they put that on, and they find actors that will do that. And I think that's another part of it being, because I think fantasy and sci-fi and speculative things can still be authentic.
No, they can.
And I think that's like one of the things that really interests me about it, is that it is still authentic. You can feel it. Like, I can feel it whenever I'm watching his movies. Like, that it's, even though it can be the most like out of the world, like Pan's Labyrinth, like the most, no way that this would ever happen in the real world, it still feels like it's right there. Yeah, and when a story is told like it's true, but you believe that shit. Exactly. That's why they do, like, in horror movies, inspired by an original story. Or it's not, this hasn't happened, this isn't real, because people are like, damn, did this shit happen? Yeah. Like, maybe. I think that's the best part about scary movies, because that's how I feel about them. Horror,
I think, like you said, I think everyone's seen Hush, right? And that was sort of my first introduction. Not my first introduction. I've definitely seen disabled people on the screen. Mostly used as laughing matters, or definitely, especially from like Scary Movie. Woo, child. Dude. Scary Movie, the way that they do those things. But they do them on purpose because that is literally how people write those characters, as if they're just doy, sort of thing. But that was sort of my first interaction with, not Hush being a like really well done movie that explains the difference of a scary situation when you can't hear or when you have a disability, and what you have to do in order to remove yourself from that situation.
Just save yourself.
You know what I mean? That was authentic. It wasn't authentic to me because I have hearing, but it was authentic in the way that I didn't feel like I couldn't be in this experience. Like I couldn't feel myself being there, even though I'm a hearing person. And I feel like those are the stories. Obviously, it's kind of like, well, if I can't put myself in it, then I don't want to be there. But not even that. With the stories so well told, I'm there and I can't get out. That's one of the main things that I like. Also, with Get Out, with all these other sorts of movies where I'm like, fuck, I'm kind of scared. Like you said, like don't turn the lights off. Like, bitch, aren't you in this world with me? Like, I'm here wherever Guillermo wants me to be is where I'm at. And I want to get the fuck out of here, which is also how you know the movie's good, because it's like, oh, bitch, I'm scared.
Exactly. Like, that's like everything in the film. It's
to escape the escapism.
Yeah. It's that's like suspended disbelief. Like, no, will this ever happen to me? Probably not. But in this moment, right now, as I'm watching it, it feels like it's happening to me. Yeah, the shower scenes and whatnot. That, what movie is that? Oh,
Psycho?
Invisible Man.
Oh! That movie was done so well. Now, that's a movie I've watched maybe 6 or 7 times at this
That's
point.
a movie, whenever we were sitting in the movie theaters watching her, in the beginning, as she's trying to get out of this house with this man and make sure that he doesn't know that she's leaving. And I'm literally in my chair, like, holding on because he's going to wake up. He's gonna wake up, and like you can feel that fear in there.
Yes. Oh God, it's such a good done.
It's so beautifully done. Yeah. It's an amazing movie. Like,
woman directed, just so you know. Perfect. That movie. Oh my God, I can't believe you brought that movie up. What is the second question?
I love the movie.
Whip Up Looking Euphoria. Why? Okay, I'm gonna talk about that movie. Y'all know I run a business called Change Rape Culture, and I think one of the biggest things that people don't believe about survivors is their feelings and the fact that it feels real to them. And the fact that no one was believing this woman when she's literally telling the truth is just so telling of the police, your friends. It was rape culture, that movie. That movie is y'all continuing to act like this shit does not happen, and she can clearly see it. She knew from the beginning. She knew the first time.
Exactly, that first night. She knew. She knew he was in there.
She knew the first time. And that's so crazy how you can rewatch the movie and see where she saw him.
Yeah.
You can see
because you can tell when she, like, feels that he's in there.
Yes, she's physically scared.
He feels her in the house.
Oh, my God. It's so fucking gross because that's the same thing with, like, you know, being a survivor of abuse. You just think they're behind you. Like you said, it's scary.
All the time. That scene where he's behind her, literally. You can see his breath outside. And then, you know, when he was in the house when she was talking to that girl, and he punched that girl in the face. And they thought it was her. The same thing happened in the restaurant. They thought that she had killed her own sister.
Woo!
Like, that's literally how abusers do you, though. They will literally make everybody think that you are the bad guy.
That you're crazy and that...
They will manipulate the entire situation. And I think that was... I mean, in the terms of Euphoria, like, at the end, where she fucking gets him...
Oh, I loved it. That was euphoric for me because, you know, I hate white woman leads... But I love that bitch from Handmaid's Tale and Mad Men.
I love her.
She's a bad bitch. I love her. I love her character. I think she's an amazing actor. And I think she takes me there, similar to Sarah Paulson, with her crying and her snot. And she's
the same with Toni Collette in Hereditary. Yes! Exactly like that.
Yes. Toni Collette has been giving us every piece of her in her acting for decades now. And I remember first seeing her when she was a schizophrenic mother on, I forget that show on Showtime that was so popular, The Secret Life of Jenny or something like that. And I watched all of that, and she literally had to play 7 different personalities in that show. Her back I know it hurts.
Bro.
But Hereditary, also another Ari Aster film that it didn't give me so much euphoria. More so, it gave me euphoria in the visuals, which was Midsummer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Say what yours.
I feel like with Midsummer, Ari Aster actually does something really crazy with that, which is makes you feel euphoria in like a situation that is absolutely horrifying.
Yeah.
Because you're watching this like building burn down after like how many people have died already. This guy's about to burn alive in the fire. There's people burning alive. You can hear them screaming. You can hear the people outside screaming. You can hear her screaming. And then like she's smiling. So you're kind of like, oh, this is good. Like it feels good for a second, but then when you come out you're like, holy fuck, that was like a whole like cult thing. Like like it like slowly like makes you okay with that, which is how cults work. Like they take you at your lowest, where it starts at her literally fucking lowest, the most horrific thing ever. Like her crying, like that first scene, and I mean Florence, she's amazing as well. That first scene where she's just crying into his arms, and he's like,
such a dick. He
can't even like console her. He's just sitting there.
He's just sitting there. There's nothing you can say or do.
Yeah, and then like, just as it goes on, it feels like you're being indoctrinated at the same time.
Yeah,
and like this is like a racist cult. Like never want to be there, and like me, I'm sitting there like I feel like they're there, especially that scene where she's crying with all the other like May Queens and stuff, and they're crying with her and they're like feeling it with her, and it's like, holy shit.
No, literally, like,
and visually, you know, it's beautiful as well.
It makes you want to join a cult, and then it's like, fuck.
And then you're like, holy fuck.
No, and then all the people who are in cults, they're like, oh damn, that's me. I think another movie that gives me euphoria would be we mentioned Jordan Peele earlier, and we had just watched Up again yesterday. Lupita and those fucking kids and that fine ass Mbaku are the ones who give me euphoria in that movie, because that movie is not supposed to be race centered. It's more so class. But the idea of that movie and the way that it was done so well, the way that she mimicked this choking. That bitch choked her so hard, her voice was fucked up. Like, it was integrated. Every piece of that story, I feel like, was right where it needed to be. And the visuals were so good, as well as the end. I felt like the end was satisfying for me.
The end was very satisfying.
It was satisfying because it's evil. And like you were just saying, humans have to be... We gotta get over that shit. We're evil. We're capable of some fucked up shit. And that's, sort of the sun moment as like, damn, who is this clicky bitch?
Yeah.
And if she truly is who she says she is, that's deadass his mother. You know what I mean? She's your mom. So now where do we go, knowing that your mom is a crazy murderous bitch? Where do we go from there? And
but that she's been there the whole time. That's been her the whole time.
Y'all want to act like you couldn't imagine? I couldn't see myself, bitch, in the depths of disparity of poor of. But the point was that you couldn't see them because they're, quote unquote, so poor that they're just casted out into the outcasts of society. Like you said, they're the perfect juxtaposition of their rich, whatever, overlords up literally at the top of the world. Continue what you were saying.
No, I think that also, like, in terms of when you think about it, like, class, like, you think about that one person that, like, got lucky and, like, went to the NFL.
Yeah.
Or, they got that movie or they got that part and they ascended, and you would never know. Like, you would literally never, and they will do anything and everything to keep themselves up there. Yeah. Like, then that's what she does at the end. She kills her, knowing who she is and knowing who that girl is, literally, that she, like, stole her entire life, knowing that, and she kills her. Like, and I love the, like, ferocity in that. And, like, I really enjoy, like, the revenge kind of plots that are not like, oh, revenge is not good, because it's like sometimes, like, you feel it, like, you just feel like you have to do what you have to do, basically. And, like, can you really fault her for killing, but at the same time, can you fault her for killing her?
No.
When it's like, if it's me or you.
You? Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's an age-old... Read the Kabahi River Collective, which y'all hear me say every episode. But, they say in there, black femme range, black women specifically, being angry, yeah, we're going to kill some motherfuckers. Like, literally some people have to die, which is why they fucking came up there. They're like, these niggas need to die so that we can ascend and go to where we want to go. And like you said, the plan worked. The plan succeeded. I'm sure they killed millions of people because...
If you see that line at the end of the movie.
They took a whole bunch of people out, and because she was a tether is the only way she was able to save her family. So it's also very important, like you said, that she had that experience of being tether, because otherwise she wouldn't know what the fuck these bitches are. But she knew... Wasn't the point of the movie that she kind of she subconsciously forgot that she was a tether?
I don't know if she forgot or if, like, at the end, because at the end there is, like, that reveal...
Right.
Where it shows what happened that night.
Exactly.
Because, because you're going through thinking that she was so traumatized that she couldn't talk anymore and that all this stuff happened. But then you realize, oh, no, she couldn't talk because they don't know how to talk.
Exactly. Literally, she was just one of them. And the way she was acting about the beach, too, what makes me, like you said, I feel like she was traumatized, but I was, like you said, I was feeling as if...
Do you feel like she remembered or that she didn't? Yeah, like...
That's how I feel.
I don't know if... I guess that makes sense. And then I think
at the end she did.
Right, she remembered, like, at the end that she... But why would she smile, though? Right, because she smiles at the end, doesn't she?
Mm-mm. She does the... She just kind of, like, growls and make that weird thing.
I'm pretty sure she smiles at the end. Doesn't she?
This little girl does. In the car. When she's in the car and they're taking her away, the little girl smiles that weird...
She does smile, though.
The whole time. While she ties her up on the bed, she smiled. While she walks up the escalator, she smiled. And in the car, when they're like, why aren't you speaking? She's smiling. So that's why I'm like, maybe she does remember. Because there's no way she's not a therapist.
Lupita, at the end, she smiles. When she's driving the thing.
The U-Haul?
Yeah, she's driving the U-Haul out.
I need to see it.
I swear to God. It might be because her son's looking at her, too.
Staring
and he's like... Something's up.
Yeah.
And, like, he covers his face. And I swear to God she does. But maybe I'm thinking of...
I'm screaming. I love that. Now I have to rewatch them. But, yeah, those... I'm trying to think of other movies that give me euphoria that aren't, like, a huge list. Yeah, let's go back in time. Star Wars is... I think it's a lot of nostalgic reasons. But I think most definitely the newer ones... Oh, my gosh. They just... Is nostalgia done right? I think that a lot of these movies have been trying to be redoing Cinderella, all this other sorts of stuff. They're doing live actions of basically everything this year and next year.
It's all nostalgia money.
Yeah, it's just like, y'all remember that? But Star Wars, because of the way that they're developing the story, I think they're going to have a bunch of like little off-brand series that they've been doing now, like more prequels, but I don't think they're going to continue the story other than in the comic books. So the way that they sort of ended it out or like finished it, me and my dad, generational Star Wars people, have had like such long conversations, and we both are just so satisfied with the way that it ended. If you are going to have a fantasy series that has the entire nation really internationally by the balls for like 45 years, I really enjoyed the way they ended it, the way that they did it. And we had a whole marathon rewatching it again.
Can I tell you something right now?
No.
I've never seen Star Wars.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I was going to say something scary, like they're going to delete all of them or whatever. No, a lot of people, there's so many, I don't know a lot of people who have seen it, to be honest. I don't know a lot of people who have seen it.
I don't know a lot of young people.
A lot of young people or black people.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm usually the one black bitch in there, and I'm like, okay, but I would love to watch Star Wars and John Wick with you. So
I would love to watch John Wick. I don't know about Star Wars, but John Wick.
At least one. Give me one.
I've seen like one of the old ones. The first one, I think. You can't.
No, that's so terrible. That's the worst one. And of course, you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. It's the worst one. How dare you?
I love Luke Skywalker though, because he's gay.
No,
he is.
Well,
and trans.
He is, but I don't...
Luke Skywalker is gay and trans. Because I said so.
Period. But in the story, we don't care about him. Because he's just a sappy dude who's so sad about all the power he has or whatever. But, aren't we all?
Aren't we all just too perfect for this world?
Period. We spoke both about The Mummy. But is there another movie that's similar to that?
There is, actually. This one's a new one.
Ooh.
It's called The Old Guard.
I've heard of it.
And it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I've seen that movie probably 5 times now.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies, I like to call them my comfort movies.
Ooh.
Because really, I'm not one to rewatch a movie. Like, honestly.
Me
I really don't, like, rewatch movies.
Yeah,
unless I really like them.
Yeah.
And this one, it's on Netflix. I think I said that. But it's an action movie, but it's done very well in that it's emotional still, which I feel like a lot of action movies, especially the new ones or the ones on Netflix, they're just like, they're all like cops or they're in the military. Everything's like yellow because they're in Afghanistan or something. And like, it's so like, it's just poorly done. But this one, I really enjoy this one because it has found family. It has, coming of age sort of story. And they're immortals, and which is really fun. And there's a like canon gay couple that are like, they're in the story. They have this beautiful like a monologue about them, and like and it's really that easy. I feel like in more movies to have like a couple, like you don't have to make it this whole big like thing. Like literally, they say what do they say? They say they met like during the Crusades. They were on different sides of the Crusades. Mm-hmm. They met and they tried to kill each other because they were in a war. Mm-hmm. And they found their soulmate like that. And I'm a sucker for soulmate things. Like, and I don't like people, but I do believe in soulmates.
Yeah, I'm an Aries, so if you're trying to fight me, I want to fuck you. So I live for that because that's like, oh,
I love that.
Love, like I stand. I'm definitely gonna put that on my list too. I need to watch The Old Guard. HBO Max has kind of been slaying me though. Do you have HBO Max?
That's what I've heard. No.
I'm gonna put you on mine. It's wild. Once you get it, you're gonna be like, whoa.
I was just talking to one of my coworkers about HBO Max because I was like, do I need to get this?
No, you do. But the thing is, with my friends say with my Disney Plus, I'm like, don't get one, just hop on mine. I don't. It's so lonely. My account, you know how you like get them because you're like, I'm a boss bitch who can get my own accounts, and then I log in. I'm like, it's just me. I don't like that. Somebody else sign up on this account.
I'm the only one watching it.
No, I hate it, and I have like I'm on 3 other people's HBO Maxes. It's just ridiculous. So I'm just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? But we're coming to it's 9:27. We're coming to our hour mark. I stand. Yeah, it's been almost exactly an hour. Yeah, this conversation has been fulfilling.
I think so. I think it's been good. It's been all over the place, but it's good.
It's not a SipNSpill episode if we're not all over the place.
No, true.
If it's not chaotic, it's not Taylor. Truly.
I love that.
Is there anything you want to tell the people, before we get out of here? Any things you want to plug, where they can find you, embroidery? That's also a thing.
Yeah, you can find me mostly on Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's Moonlight. It's LITE, not the regular light _delight. Mm-hmm. And that's usually where I'm at. Like, honestly, I post all my TikToks and stuff there. And that's where you can find me, find my embroidery stuff as well.
Y'all better buy the embroidery stuff. It's actually really sick. And
yeah, I just finished up a commission for a friend, so I'm open to more.
Commissions! Oh, I love it when it's like my DMs are open, my commissions are open because the money's supposed to start pouring in. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you for having me on. This is really fun.
This
is my first podcast.
No one.
Yeah. I mean, I have a YouTube channel with my best friend.
Yeah.
We're going under a name change right now, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I think you are a content creator that I enjoy. So of course,
and you are a content creator that I enjoy.
Don't do it. When I came to town, I was like, "Bitch, what are you doing?" So I had to come see you, and we have to make this more of a thing. I'm going to force you to talk to my friend who's a writer.
No, for sure.
And we're all going to be writing, and I'm telling myself that too. And we're going to make it happen. But thank you all so much for being a part of this episode.
Thank you.
Keep up with AJ, keep up with me. Y'all know my Instagram is @TayWaits, my handle. Subscribe to my Patreon if you want to be included inside of this episode. Right after we finish, I'll say all my patrons' names. And yeah. Follow us. I'll see you next month or whenever the fuck I do this, because to be honest, it's not once a month. It's really whenever the fuck I feel like it. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Night, friends.
Good night.
Boop. It didn't work.